Hi, I'm Amy from Arizona. I'm 53 and I have 7 beautiful grown children. Amazingly, I had all of them without suffering any pelvic floor dysfunction. But then came a hard winter 4 years ago in my life. We had just moved on to a large off grid property in northern Arizona, and we were staying in a tiny 42 square foot trailer. I have a medical condition that keeps me pretty much homebound, and I had been unable to tolerate most forms of heating, including wood or propane or electric. So we hadn't quite figured out yet a form of heating that would work for me up here in the winter, when suddenly in the middle of October we were hit with a huge snowstorm. And that was the beginning of a long and cold winter, which lasted until mid-March. Well, I just remember feeling tensed up that whole winter and wishing that I could get warm and relax. What I didn't realize at the time was that in tensing my body and trying to get warm, I was also tensing my pelvic floor for all of those months. I was practically doing a constant Kegel, and it was very stressful for my pelvic floor. About 3 months into that winter, I suddenly felt this scary shift down there, which got worse when I squatted or bent over to pick up something heavy, or even if I lifted anything heavier than 10 pounds or something. Felt like I had like a really heavy golf ball stuck where it shouldn't be. So I went online to a specialist who explained that I had both erectocele and a cystocele, as well as some other prolapse issues. And this person recommended that I do an abdominal massage morning and evening and wear a faja, which is like a big long band that you wrap around yourself tightly and kind of holds everything in place. So I sewed one of those and tried this for the next 3.5 years, but things did not improve in that department. By that time, we were busy building a home on our acreage here. We were doing all the work ourselves, my husband and I, and our grown son. And I was basically useless as a helper. I couldn't even lift a 38-pound concrete block to help them build the walls without feeling like all my guts were going to just fall out onto the ground. If you've had this kind of pelvic floor dysfunction, you know what I'm talking about. It's just unnerving. I felt a tremendous amount of frustration and even, I guess you could say, self-loathing. I lost my former confidence, even in the bedroom. I just felt like something was irreparably wrong with me, and it made me feel humiliated and ashamed. Sometimes even standing for long periods of time just to wash the dishes or something would be so uncomfortable that I would be brought to tears. Well, around Mother's Day this year, I was scrolling the internet searching for a solution to my problem. We were nearing the completion of the house and planning to have a week-long Labor Day family reunion on September 1st. So I was wondering how I would pull off being the hostess, mother, and grandmother for a week with no breaks to go hang upside down or try to fix my pelvic floor issues when I came upon this MoonRise pelvic health program. I started listening to other women's stories, and it was so inspiring. I told my husband, look, this 12-week hyperpressives program seems to be working for these other ladies. I wish I could try it. But I know money's tight right now and we're working on this house project. But my husband said, I'll get it for you for Mother's Day. We're 12 weeks away from that Labor Day reunion, so maybe you'll feel better by then. I can honestly say his best Mother's Day gift ever. So I started in, but Abby showed us how to do this lateral breathing, and it was something completely new for me. I was a singer and a brass musician, and I'd always been taught to breathe down into my abdomen. Mobilizing my ribs was something completely new. After a couple of videos, the first one, I totally did it wrong. And she was like, no, 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 try again. Then I sent her a second one where I kind of was like, oh, I have to be opening my ribs like an umbrella and then closing them and opening them. Abby was so excited. Yes, Amy, you're getting it. And I just took off with those lateral breaths in the apnea. I didn't have a good place to do the exercises because we're building a house and I just said either the ground or my bed. So I did them in bed before getting up in the morning. After about 4 weeks, I was already noticing a difference, not only in how I felt while I was standing or bending over or picking up heavy stuff, but also in the bedroom, where things started feeling like they used to. In my opinion, this was a miracle. 12 weeks later, I hosted the Labor Day reunion, and I can honestly say I had zero discomfort that whole week. I was making food and serving food. I was playing with babies and toddlers on the floor. I was carrying them around. I was singing with my family, and I felt good and confident and strong. So I know I'm not 100% better yet, but the improvement in such a short time has been so astonishing for me. And I plan to continue to use the site and the instruction videos and the Zoom chats in the library far into my future. So I just want to encourage you, if you're having pelvic health issues, I would highly recommend MoonRise Pelvic Health. Philippa and Abby are amazing. Abby in particular has been so specific in her personal interactions with me, with my videos, with my emails. She's been my best and the kindest cheerleader in this. Both of these women have gone through the discomfort and frustration of pelvic floor issues, and they're passionate about helping others of us who are struggling like I was. In my opinion, what they have to offer here is so far better than conventional medicine, which tells you to do a zillion Kegels, or tells you you need to get surgery, or tells you you have to wear a pessary, or even tells you you have to tie a big thing around yourself tightly every day without correcting the underlying issue. These ladies are teaching our bodies to align themselves through proper breath work and the calming of our nervous systems and the gentle vacuum suction of the apnea. You can almost feel it just moving everything back into its place. This is a tool that I believe every woman should have, and I'm just really glad that I found it.